Hello and welcome to Zeta's Chivalry 2 Survival Run. Today's map is Battle of Dark Forest and I'm playing with a glaive. This was requested. Straight off the bat, the glaive is rather weak weapon. It reminds me of War Club. Basically, your hits deal really minuscule amount of damage for the size of the weapon, unless you're doing overheads. Heavy overheads, they're fine. They're not great, they're fine. But all other attacks, swings, are just terrible. I mean, it takes around 3 to 4 hits of normal attacks just to kill an archer. So yeah, the weapon is bad, but let's start the run. Oh yeah, before we go any further, I'd like to wish you all the best in the upcoming year. So yeah, have a good time celebrating. So as you see, a heavy overhead deals quite a bit of damage. I think against very armored opponents it does around 75 damage, but that's only if that's a heavy overhead. If the overhead is not heavy, it deals only minuscule 47. So 47, bear in mind, that's with armor amplification. So against unarmored opponents it will deal maybe 32 or something like that. So really low damage of overhead. I mean, with a sword you get more damage from an overhead. I think even from a dagger. So yeah, very low damage. And the reach is not spectacular either. So for example, with halberd is one of the most weapon with the highest reach in the game. So compared to this weapon, halberd is godlike and glaive is just terrible. What glaive does have is pretty cool skin. This skin is similar to something like Naginata, but it's more European fall shard, I think. So again, a poleaxe that's something like between the billhook and a halberd. So yeah, that's the skin. But other than that, it's just normal glaive. So heavy overhead, 75 damage. So that's good. So you should do more heavy overheads if you're playing with this weapon. If not, just you're tickling the opponent. And tickling does not get you a lot of kills in this game. So prepare to have a lot of assists and not kills. Also, charging attack with this class works okay. Again, it's not great, but it's not super good. It's not terrible. So yeah, map-wise, I'm playing as an attacker. For defenders it will be much harder to survive. Basically, you have to retreat more often than not to your new objective. And that's just still too risky. So if I play weapons I'm not really proficient with, I'd rather pick offensive run. It's easier. Again, heavy overhead, 75 damage. So 2 heavy overheads, it's still not enough to kill enemy knight. And yeah, that's a problem. So for halberd it's enough. For basically for example pole hammer it's enough too, but not for this weapon. So this is the weakest pole weapon. So yeah, we managed to get the gateway, and now we can continue further. So again, during survival runs you already know that these particular places are rather full of ballistas. So be careful when playing it. So yeah, and the mystery has been revealed. So a slash does around 30 damage. So usually it should kill in 3 to 4 hits enemy archer. So 30 damage. So if you think that's normal for a weapon that looks so menacing, it's not. It seems like it's a trolling weapon. I believe broom does similar damage. So this is really unfortunate that the weapon itself is rather gimped. I don't think it adds anything to the game. So, in a sense, you're trying to use your speed. I mean, the weapon is fast, and but still, if enemy is countering, or you won't be able to hit twice in a row. So there's no point of that speed, right? And yeah, I saw one enemy is teleporting. Not really sure what's happening. Maybe there is some issue with connectivity for him. And now heavy, just normal overhead, 42 damage. But that's probably because I hit not vital points, but maybe hands and legs. So yeah, but this is one of the safest spots, being around the cart, because it shields you from ballista shots. I like to hide there when I'm pushing also the objective. So I see this ballista is taken by enemy. And there's friendly who's coming there, but he's in a disadvantage. Again, the reach is terrible. One swipe delivered 30 damage, 32 damage. That's awful for a weapon that with the ammo amplification. That's just really, really bad. I'm baffled how little damage it does. But overhead does okay. Stabs are also fine, but not simple attacks. So yeah, 37 damage. Again, really underwhelming. I mean, there is a reason why nobody is playing this weapon, and that's because people tried it and just sucked. And that means if it sucks and doesn't give you satisfaction, or you just sweat a lot, so it becomes a trolling weapon rather than a normal weapon. So definitely you can, it's better than bare hands, but not really better than, you know, your secondary weapon. So unfortunately I whiffed my charging special attack, and enemy knight escaped. But anyway, with some help from an archer, I was able to take care of him. Again, pretty tough to play with bad weapons after you played with really good ones. So I don't know, this is really bad. So here's an archer, but he's already damaged. So one overhead delivered 40 damage, another 34. And 34 is basically I probably hit an arm. But 40 is probably the standard. And now heavy overheads. Heavy is fine. Now also 50, not really sure how. Special attacks also nothing special. Yeah, I think it delivers same as heavy overhead. So again, there is no reason for you to use special attack unless it's a charging special attack. Very nice ballista shot. Teleported the enemy far away from me. So now we can continue past this gatehouse. Again, this map is all about gatehouses. You have to either push through them, capture them, or blow them to smithereens. Yeah, the lobby itself, it's not too challenging. I mean, there are some good players, but other than that, not really. Because, you know, with the bad weapon, with this weapon, I would definitely lose any duels with against competent enemies. So this is another guy who had a glaive. Very unpopular weapon, and there is a good reason why. Really short range, pretty quick, but rather short range for pole weapon. And yeah, and also damage is underwhelming. You see, I mean, even against the War Axe, it's tough because of the range differences. Because I'm usually used to weapons that actually have a good reach, but not this one. So this doesn't, and that's why I, you know, very often get hit when in a melee. We're trying to use the art of 3 against 1. Doesn't always work. So yeah, playing safe at the moment. Again, weapon is pretty bad, so not trying to put myself into a spot where I would not survive. Because this is a tough challenge. Again, it's not as bad as, you know, if you go barrels. Not as easy. Sorry, barrels are a bit harder, but all trolling weapons are. This is not trolling weapon, but it's not far off, for me at least. Really, really hard to find any redeeming features of this weapon except for cool looking skin. So, and it's level 21 for me. So if you play with glaives, just try halberd for example, and you'll see how much better it is. Yes, you won't be able to spam as quickly, but again, there's no point if enemy can counter and block. So there is no, you won't be able to put 2 hits anyway. Yeah, some melee again, safe. This was what, 4 against 1. This is again, enemies moving away, so that's why it's easy to hit him. So 60 damage, heavy overhead without any modifications or amplifications. So it's okay. I mean, I'm not saying it's really bad, but it's heavy overhead, and light overheads are really bad. Now my special attack whiffed, of course, enemy did not survive, but that's fine, I didn't hit any friendlies too. So it's okay, I just wasted time. Now an archer here. Again, damage 68, charging attack damage. So even my signature move of charging attack special kick overhead would not work against normal opponents. Not even against an archer probably. So yeah, it's tough. This weapon is tough. Now enemy is red, so no problem. And now there's a knight here who's fighting against 5. Of course, he blocked and received active parry, then it's really hard to hit him. Now, for some reason, an enemy archer stayed here. He shouldn't have. He should have moved. And only from safe distance he should have used his arrows on us. But he didn't. He stayed there and he died. So if you want to survive as a defender, you should very often be on the move. And especially during the time when objective is shifting. He didn't, and he died. When I play defensive rounds, I usually do, even earlier than anticipated, when the objective is not yet captured. But this is me. So yeah, 85 damage, special charging attack against armored opponents, which is good. I mean, it's probably the most damaging attack of this weapon. But you just can't do it because you need to gather momentum. And after you completed it, you are stuck in one place. So you lost all your momentum. So for this reason you cannot spam it. You know, other attacks like special attacks from standing position do require stamina. So if you don't have stamina you won't be able to trigger it. 95, charge kick overhead. Of course enemy is already red when I started it, so it doesn't count. But 82 plus 50. So that's what... that's 132, and that means that enemy is still alive, because Knight, if I remember correctly, has around 175 HP. So yeah, and also you can count that include kick, which is 5. So 137, which is not even nearly enough to use charge kick overhead combo. Yeah, and for this reason it's, again, you spend more time against one enemy, and you are being exposed for all other elements. And this enemy was severely damaged, so not a problem. Oh yes, actually my calculations are a bit off. 85, no, they're correct. 137. 137 plus 2, 142. Oh, sorry, 137 plus 5 for kick, and that's 142. Yeah, so all those calculations aside, and mental gymnastics, let's continue on the fight. I'm not going... So there are two main hotspots for catapult boulders landing, and that's friendly's catapults, and also the gate. So these are the most popular spots where catapults are landing. So if you want to survive, don't go there. I know it's a bit, you know, not gamey, but I have to stay here and wait until team pushes. But I do take out the stragglers. It's just that this stage is very unfriendly towards survivors. If you want to survive and do this, you just, on this stage, you just cannot go into the fray or into the gatehouse. Just not it doesn't work that way. And I see enemy is charging, so I need a better spot. Also remember that I don't have a bandage, probably. So I always double check and try to get one whenever I have time. After that I usually return to the melee, like here. So I see one enemy, and I come from behind, so friendlies have even more chance of scoring a kill. So I got the assist, but that's fine, I helped friendlies, because this person probably was okay-ish. Not too bad, he could fight against two friendlies. Probably quite fine. So now I ran to the friendly flag for healing. Now on the left I see there is an advantage of numbers for our team, but there's also risky because this gate, this bridge, if you pass it, enemy spawn is behind it, so you might get overwhelmed by it. Now again, this position is an example of how third-person view is not always the best. So in this place, when there is a bridge just above, you know, everything is a bit, you know, not working the way you want, moving for no reason. The camera is moving for no reason. And now enemy is down again, maybe 5 hits in total. Not really the best way to engage enemies. Just bear in mind that other weapons just need 2 hits, and this needs 5. 4 or 5. So all the time, it's good that you know, behind the enemy there were only friendlies from my team, because I just signaled him out and that he had nowhere to escape and there was nobody who could assist him. But it doesn't always work like that, so you have only split second or split maybe few seconds to dispatch of the enemy and then move into, you know, safer spot and reset. Now with this weapon it doesn't work, so you spend much more time toying with the enemy, tickling him with your weak swings, and that exposes you towards other enemies that saw you, you know, slugging it out against the enemy and just want that piece of action. Was able to knock friendly, but also he was low on HP. It was not intentional, but also revived him after getting rid of the enemy. So now there is 4 minutes on the clock. It's pretty cool. Again, here if you go for the Duke, you won't be able to survive, just because the sheer distance between enemy spawn and the Duke just puts you in a great disadvantage when you want to retreat. So could kill one enemy, but then I was hit once and I'm half HP. So the map is ending. I've scored 36 kills in this run, but the weapon is really trash. So if you are using glaives still after this video, don't. Just take a halberd and you'll be much better off. Thank you for watching, and again, Happy New Year. See you next time.